Hi everybody, I hope everybody is doing well. So today's reading is going to be about Susan Morphew. I hope I'm saying her name right. She was a 49-year-old woman from Colorado who went missing on May the 10th while she was out bike riding. Her remains were found 3 years after she went missing on September the 22nd, 2023. And the autopsy results just came out on about April the 29th, and her death was ruled a homicide by unspecified means, but they did find tranquilizers for animals in her system. Suzanne was apparently having an affair. Her husband was initially arrested, Barry. Prosecution suggested that he found out about the affair, went into a rage, and killed her. But they dismissed the charges. So there's no one being held responsible for her murder at this time. So this reading is going to be about whether or not her husband is going to be rearrested now that her death has been ruled as homicide. I think the truth is going to come out about Suzanne's death. I think even now, law enforcement, now that they have the autopsy results, are realizing, I guess you could say, new leads, new paths to go down. But I do think the truth is going to come out about what happened to Suzanne. But how does that relate to her husband? So we'll keep digging and we'll see what comes out. I just flipped that and it was love begins and light. That to me signifies the affair. Excuse me. Look at that. Love begins in reverse and authority in reverse. There's something about control. I think that she thought that she could handle being married and having an affair at the same time. She thought everything was controllable. I don't think she thought that she was going to get caught. In fact, I read that she was trying to catch her husband having an affair, and then she herself got outed. Spiritual union, in reverse and disruption. I feel like she was gonna end her marriage. It's either she was gonna end her marriage or she felt like the affair, she wasn't gonna leave her husband for her side piece. It was just like a little fun on the side. like temporary. like a temporary good time, relief from boredom, but her husband found out, and I think her husband's a little bit unhinged. I'm thinking like she was like on the verge of ending the affair anyway, but then she got caught. Fertility and harmony in reverse. There's someone who is getting dumped. I can't tell if it's her husband or the boyfriend. Like, the feeling I'm getting is like not the, like, the affair was like it wasn't meant to be something that like trumped her marriage. There's a lot of like confusion, a lot of like blurred lines, you know? Deception and envy in reverse, and temptation. She liked the danger of having an affair. It like added excitement to her life. She was bored. You know what's coming to mind? There's this verse in the Bible about how a husband's anger is like, it's like uncontrollable if his wife is found to be cheating, and I think that's what's happened here. I think her husband went berserk, but I think what he didn't understand was that Suzanne wasn't leaving him. Sacral chakra, partnerships and alliances. Okay, there was like, I just want some attention. I just wanted some attention. So there was obviously like a disconnect between her and her husband at that time. I think they said the affair went on for 2 years. She had been married to her husband for like 32 years. I think they hit a rough, like, stagnant patch, and she got temptation in reverse, wisdom in reverse. It was not a smart decision to have an affair. Obviously not. Now, in hindsight, she honestly thought she wouldn't get caught. There's something about her having like a squeaky clean image. Like it's like no one would suspect or expect her to have an affair. It's like something about being a goody-goody. Moving on. Base chakra. I haven't moved Yeah, like I was not leaving my marriage. I think like there's something about her being stuck. It's like she's in shock that this even happened. And I think there's also an element of her husband being able to accept, like, to accept a divorce. Like, I don't know if he has anyone in his life right now, but the feeling I get is no. Like, she was it for him. And to find out that she was having an affair, like, just devastated him. And he basically snapped. That's what I'm getting. I think the prosecution has it right. It's just they can't prove it. We'll do one more cut and then we'll start pulling. Financial and material changes in reverse and triumphant success. She thought she hid it well. Like there was no she thought there was no evidence. She never spent any money, like out of, like, that would seem suspicious. She legit thought she was never gonna get caught, but she did. She got caught trying to catch him, which is interesting. Movement, choices, decisions. Trapped in fear. Yeah, that's how she got caught. She made the wrong choice. And she did it because she was scared that he was having an affair because she was having an affair. She got busted. And there's also an element here about her husband, the things that he was doing leading up to or after her disappearance are definitely suggestive of a guilty mind. Prosperity begins, which is interesting. I got the same first card for the last reading I did on Micah Miller. Obstacles and challenges. And wisdom. They weren't getting along at the time of her death, her and her husband. There's also a lack of evidence. Like there is a lack of evidence. Choose wisely. The police, they've got nothing right now on him. But I think they have some new leads since this autopsy. Patience and planning. Like they can't. It's like they can't prove premeditation. It's like they're trying to trip him up, but it's not working. Discontent and boredom. Yeah. I've learned a lot about boredom. I should have just stayed in my marriage. This is Susie I'm talking, by the way. I should have stayed in my marriage happily instead of seeking outside validation. This is definitely about the affair. And I would say definitely your husband did it, but there's no evidence. Throat chakra. I think that her husband told her to stop, and she did it. Like he told her end the affair, and she kept on. Base chakra. Yeah, like this murder was like impulsive, not planned. And I think that's kind of like why it was so, like, it's so hard to prove, because it was so impulsive. There was no planning. Like, there's no, like, on cases they say, oh, the Google searches, they looked up how to kill my wife and hide the body. Like, no. This was like so like impulsive, they can't prove it because it was not planned or premeditated. Interesting. It's like he just snapped. But there is like the energy that's coming through here is like he did something. There's something that he did that is detectable. Crown chakra, but they haven't found it. Yeah, she's like coming through here. Like, I've learned my lesson. I've learned my lesson. The feeling I get is like she's bargaining. It's like she wants to come back, but she cannot. Like, it's over, She's seriously regretful of having this affair. Rejoice in celebration. Yeah. Her and her husband talked about this affair. He told her to stop and she didn't. There's also an element of alcohol that spurred this on. Like the murder. Mental conflict. Yeah, I feel like the police don't think that he is smart enough to get away with murder. And I don't think he is either. I don't think he ever intended on murdering his wife, but he built himself up in such a rage that he snapped, also under the influence of alcohol. And there's something about doing it on Mother's Day. There's something relevant there. But anyhow, because it was impulsive, no, lack of planning, his mind state, the police are assured, are confident, I should say, that they are going to catch him. I don't think they think there's any other suspects but him. Accelerated motion. Yeah, it all happened so fast without thinking, really thinking about the consequences of my actions. Now that the autopsy is done and been ruled a homicide, suffering in silence, they're waiting for the husband to get scared and slip up. Spiritual union, but like I said, there's no evidence right now. But they do have leads. It's not a dead case yet. The husband thought that Suzanne was the love of his life. I think she felt the same, but she got caught up in temptation. Destiny. Yeah. She's got so much regret, it's not even funny. So much so that I think that she's stuck in a in-between limbo, because she's not accepting what has happened to her. Stand your ground. I think they had an argument, and I feel like it was on the side of the road. And I think that her husband was drunk. And I think that he told her, stop the affair, or I told you to stop the affair, and you didn't. And feeling I get is him choking her or suffocating her or something. The feeling I get is he grabbed her off the road, but I'm not 100% on that. There's something about an argument on the side of the road. And he had been bottling it up day after day after day after day after day. And then he just freaking exploded. Victory and success. The feeling that I get is if he had waited just a little bit longer, his wife would have ended the affair. But he was so this is my wife, I need to have this to happen now on my pace, at my pace. He just snapped. And he knows that he made mistakes because he was like crazed. Shadow. Like she had like literally like no inclination that murder was even on the table, was even a possibility. There's a lot of denial on Suzanne's part, I have to say. She didn't think she was gonna get caught. She got caught. She didn't think that her husband was capable of murder. He murdered. There was a lot of like lying that she told herself along the way. But it's kind of like rest and rejuvenate. Yeah. Like her husband was I think he was like literally a wreck because of what was happening, Sacral. And he wanted his wife to himself. And she was not I think he's suicidal. Her husband, actually. I'm telling you, like, his mind is like she was the one, she was it for him. Like, there's something about suicide. Fulfillment of wishes. I feel like Suzanne wants other, and it's obvious, wants other people to know that if you cheat on your spouse, there is the possibility that you could be harmed. And to really consider your actions, or like what you truly are wanting or needing. She wanted attention, but it's like she never really, she wanted attention, but like she never really pushed the issue with her husband. Material harvest. Yeah, like her husband was going out of his mind. The truth. There was like, there's something here about suicide, I'm telling you. It's almost like, the feeling I'm getting is like he's thinking, I want to be able to cross over and be with my wife, so I have to tell the truth. So he might confess before committing suicide. There's a feeling that he feels that he's going to get caught. But at this time, the police don't have any evidence. Like concrete prosecutory evidence? I think that's the right word. There's an issue here. I'm telling you about suicide. Temptation. Yeah. Power. Yeah, the police don't have any evidence. So, for now, they're not going to arrest him. But allegedly, for entertainment purposes, I think he did it. And I think he did it in a drunken rage. Because he told Suzanne to stop dealing with this person, and she didn't. And what he did was not planned. It was impulse. Because he was out of control with despair because of how much he loved Suzanne. There's an issue here regarding possible suicide. In wanting to be able to be with her on the other side, so he may confess. There's also an element here of Suzanne being very remorseful about the affair. She didn't think that she was going to get caught. She thought it was like fun and games, just a little intention on the side. It was never meant to be an issue. And it was all to seek attention and validation, to feel seen. And she regrets it. And she's is learning that not all attention is good attention. And sneaking around will get you in trouble. So the question was, will her husband be rearrested? And my answer is no. Because currently they do not have enough evidence. So I'm going to stop it here. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time. Love you guys. Bye.